Cornerstone's first home was in a shop lot at 7U in Puchit 5. We could only fit 120 chairs. That's how small it was, okay? One day I tried to stand at the stage and we tried to arrange to put in 121 chairs, and we tried at every corner and we couldn't. When it was packed out, it would be shoulder to shoulder.
Our team were working really hard. I remember the worship team, our sound, our projectionist, the ushers, of course the preachers. We were serving in 3 services every weekend, but there was such a joy just to serve the King, such a joy in the house. Every weekend, the atmosphere was just charged up. I mean, you talk about electrifying, it was electrifying with the Spirit of God and just with the hunger of the people.
And so in March 2020, the whole world went into lockdown and we were forced to start online services.
We could no longer meet in our little humble abode in Puchit 7U. We started meeting on Zooms for our smaller meetings, and the service had to be pre-recorded right here actually in our home.
And so when the announcement that church could go back to normal and people could come back in, we really tried to fit people into the hall, and we just couldn't. The shop lot was just too small.
So as the restrictions were lifting bit by bit, slowly by slowly, we were also very actively looking for a place, a space where people could come back corporately to worship, because we saw the need for that. But for some reason, God seemed to be very particular about the place of His dwelling here in Miri, and we just could not find a space. We went looking from one place to another. Either the tenancy didn't go through or the budget was just not in our favor, and so we had to look for a transitionary place that could host us while a more permanent place came. And KRP became a transitionary home for us.
We had services in KRP for over a year, and what that meant was we didn't have a place for ourselves, and we could only rent it over the weekends, which means that our service crew and our team had to set up really early in the morning, either on Sunday mornings or Saturday evenings, the lights, the speakers, carry out the mixer, plug it all in, the cameras, and it was tough. But those were the seasons that we knew that it was worth it, that the prize was worth the price. And the prize was to have the sons and daughters of God to come home and worship.
And we're so blessed that God would make provision in this time where people came forward, with the skills of their hands and with the willingness of their hearts. I mean, they came and they said, let's do this together.
Sebi and I were not alone. That we had a family that God had brought alongside us to pursue the greater purposes and plans for God in the city of Miri, because we know we're here to make a change and a difference and an impact in Miri and even in nations beyond. Even when we were in this middle ground, we saw the faithfulness of God, truly. We saw lives being healed, restored, coming into alignment with their destiny again. I mean, Jerry is behind the camera. He came to church in KRP when we were there. And I remember praying over Jerry, in one of those services. And I saw this young man just encounter God every weekend. I mean, so many people just came into that middle place and found God.
Looking for a place here in Miri became a real ordeal. I mean, it was a very frustrating journey. We're just going from place to place, looking for a more permanent space because it's always been in our heart's desire for a dwelling place of the Lord. It just seemed like all the doors were just shut to us. So I recall vividly, it was the 15th of October. We were having the 49th anniversary of the Barrio Revival meeting at Pelita Church. And after that night, I mean, there was just that sense of it is done. Like it is, it's almost like it's a victorious feat. We had seen the place at Krokop and we really liked it. I mean, the architecture of it, the space inside of it. But then the asking rental was again not in our favor, and so we negotiated with them. And all I said was, God, if that is where you want us to reside in, to move in, then let the negotiation of the rental fall through because what we were asking for was way below what they were asking for. And there was just a simple prayer on the 16th of October when I woke up and to a text that said that the owners of the place have agreed to give us that place at our asking rental cost. And I just could not believe my eyes. I remembered reading that. There was such a joy that leapt in my heart. I was crying, literally crying tears of joy. I mean, after that frustrating ordeal of just looking for a place, we had finally found a home. And I was just in tears. I remember, going to Pastor Rachel's bedroom and saying, "We have a home, we have a home, the Lord has a home."
I'm really excited to have a place that we can call home, a place where our children can grow up in Sunday school, right? I'm excited because then we have an expansion place where more people can come because we can sit about 400 to 450 people in the hall. I'm excited about having this place as God's dwelling home.
We're thankful for the journey in KRP. It being a transitionary place, it was significant to our journey as a family, as a church, but we are very excited to be moving into our new space. It is more than just the weekend services, going to be a house of prayer for all nations, an apostolic hub where nations would gather in that place, and a womb for revival.